Hey everybody, it's Dr. Karen. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this special segment from the SLP Learning Academy. SLP Learning Academy is a coaching program that helps pediatric SLPs do their trickiest case studies. If you've ever struggled to get a student to use their AAC device consistently, you're going to want to watch this call, which will show you a special segment from the exclusive SLP Learning Academy coaching call library. On this segment of the coaching call, I'm going to cover how to get students using their devices across settings, an evidence-based way to facilitate language growth, the mindset shift we need to teach stakeholders so they buy into the process, how to navigate logistics when you have multiple device users on your caseload, and how to build students' language skills without having to stop and program the device in the middle of a sentence. So I can't wait to share this with you. Let's get started. So what were some of the most challenging cases you had this past year?
Some of my most challenging cases are is more of trying to incorporate some AAC into the classroom. Our district bought a ton of apps like Words for Life, Alt Chat, and the students use the junior high in so trying to get some of our teachers to use those apps in the classroom, communication apps, and since I'm only at each school part-time, trying to try to do a lesson and model and show how they can use those apps rather than just label vocabulary, how you would use them to express express not only wants but direct activities and that type of stuff. And it's more of they don't need to label stuff. It's more like, I want this, get this for me, that type of thing. And the core language is just, they don't, I think they understand it, but I think they're just so busy themselves that so I don't know. I was hoping maybe next year to try to incorporate some not staff training. We've had staff training, but just for me to work with each teacher and okay, what lesson can we incorporate? During this lesson, how can we incorporate the AAC app in the core language and kind of be in the classroom to model that?
Yeah. So how many students would you say are you working on that have some kind of goals to be using AAC? How many kids are we talking about here? This is junior high mostly?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got 2, 3, 4. I think right now I've got at least 6 or 7 off the top of my head.
6 or 7. Okay, so you've got a handful. So it definitely would be worth your while to put some energy into it if you've got that many kids. And are these kids that have, do they have a lot of minutes on their IEPs with you?
Not horribly. I mean, between 40 and 60.
Okay. Yeah. So that's not a ton, but so it would probably be, a lot of that would probably have to be some consulting and training because you can only do so much with 40 to 60 minutes a week. Does your district do they do set evaluations when you do assistive technology? Are you familiar with what that is?
Yeah, we do a set evaluations. If the parents are interested in pursuing a device, well, I hope I know what you're saying. Usually, we'll have the Illinois Assistive Technology Springfield will come in because they can bring a bunch of stuff, bring a bunch of devices in at a time.
And see.
It's more efficient that way, even though the waiting list is long, but to see. And then we do a trans, they narrow one down and then we do a trial on it.
Okay. Yeah, usually a set process is it's if you Google it, it's Joy Zabala is the person who came up with it, but it's just a way of figuring out, and it's for any assistive technology, but you can use it for AAC, but it's just, you evaluate the whole student, and it's an acronym SETT. So students, environment, tasks, and tools. And what it does is it just helps you to narrow down some good options for as far as device use, because what happens is that sometimes we use assistive technology that's available to us, not necessarily what's best for the students. And it's something that should be done is when you're doing your annual review, that it's something that should be done within that. And so it sounds like you're doing some of that, but it's just a little bit more official. And sometimes people will do that before they figure out if they're going to have the device. And the thing that's nice about it is that it's supposed to incorporate all the stakeholders. And so with all of these kids, are the parents, how involved are the parents with these 6 kids that we're talking about here?
Some parents are more involved than others. That's the thing. They've came up through the grade school, introduced to these apps, but the parents, like, they don't have set devices at this time. They just use the school iPad, which they can't take home. And so I understand the theory of it. I think the practice is good. I think the district and the SLP who started this, their hearts were in the right place.
Right.
But and so a lot of times, like during the IEP meetings or during parent-teacher conferences, I'll, have examples of what the child's been doing and see if they want to, like, would you be interested in pursuing a direct device? Or, I've got some parents, like I said, oh, yes, they are, but then they don't get that it's the child, that they have to do it along with the child sometimes.
Yeah.
Device. It's just that's probably one of my most challenging things right now, because I see a lot of potential in the kids and they can use it well but it's just all the stakeholders involved. I think they just think it's like they'll just start using it, but you have to show that you have to demonstrate and you use it yourself. So
here are some thoughts about, because I think what you're obviously doing something, and something is better than not doing. At least they have access to the device. So what I would, the thing is though, is that the other people in the environment, whether it be the teachers, a teaching assistant, and then especially the parents, because you want the parents on board, because if they can get them using it across different environments, then that's going to help with them actually using it beyond school. Right. Because then they're going to have some ownership. Otherwise, it's kind of like with AAC devices, what happens a lot of times is that it's like, oh, this is a speech thing, and then it's done when it leaves speech, and then, or it's a school thing, and then it's done when you leave school.
Right.
So I think you almost have to, like, it's challenging for you as an SLP to figure out, like, how is the best way to train everybody else and get them on board. And I think what happens is that a lot of times we feel like you feel bad if you're not doing it with everybody at once. So I think the best way to actually make real headway is see if you can pick, maybe, like, if you can pick 1 or 2 of your most engaged parents and focus, like, do your best with everybody else, but maybe do a pilot of a more intensive training program for both the parents and the teachers with those specific kids. And obviously you're still doing something with everybody else, but pilot it with these kids to figure out what works. And then you can, once you figure out what works, then it's like, okay, I've got kind of a process to follow for training the parents and training the teachers. So now I can start doing it with these other people. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah. And I think that sometimes when you almost have to start with the low-hanging fruit for your own learning, because otherwise it's just too challenging, and it's too easy to get overwhelmed and then do kind of the same thing over and over again.
Oh yeah.
So I think what you can do, and this is even a good project for you over the summer, is to come up with a couple different, whether it be like training videos or whether it be just simple handouts that you make, like come up with some kind of a protocol that you can do for both the teachers and then the engaged parents to figure out how you can start getting them using the device in other settings. The technique that there's actually some good videos on YouTube, it's called aided language stimulation.
Okay.
And it's a good way to, like, I think you hammering the point home of if you want these kids to be device users, you have to be a device user. Like when we talk with kids when they're little, they learn language because we're talking to them. But then people with devices don't learn how to do that because they never see anybody using a device.
Yeah.
So I think maybe just you could even pick your most engaged teacher and your most engaged parent, and then see if you can get them to do aided language stimulation throughout the day, even if. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. I mean, I was kind of thinking on the lines of trying to do that, something like that, a training. And so this just helps me get the information together, like the aided language training and the resources to pull information from. And
and I think, you really have to help them make that mindset shift. I think that's more important than any strategy you give them, because you could give them a handout about this, but if they don't understand the why behind it, they're probably not going to do anything with it. So yeah. And I think what's kind of interesting in the schools is that, nobody really understands what we do as much as we do, but at the same time, we can kind of help people buy in by getting success with the low-hanging fruit. So a lot of times you might not get everybody on board at once, but if you can just get a couple people and then have somebody, then they can vouch for you, and other people see that these other teachers are getting good results, then that gets some buy-in there. And teachers talk to each other. So yeah, that helps.
No, that helps a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So
a good project for the
yeah. So I would say your action steps then would be look up aided language stimulation and brainstorm some ways that you can, some things that you can do right away when you get back in the fall to figure out, what are my actions? Who's the teacher I'm gonna reach out to, and who's the student, and what's that going to actually look like? Because I think you want to, it would be great if they could do it throughout the day, but maybe just picking 1 or 2 times a day, and then that maybe could be when you go in for your speech sessions, or however you think it could work logistically. So I'd say that could be something you'd work on this next week. And actually we've got, so with our coaching call schedule, I am anticipating it's going to usually be Sunday night in the school year, because I think that'll be good, kind of gearing everybody up for the week and things like that. But with summer, I'm just kind of playing around with a couple different times. So we actually have our next call Wednesday. So if you wanted to look some stuff up in the next couple days and then pop back on that call on Wednesday and compare, just show me what you found and see what follow-up questions you have, we could do that as well. Hey there, it's Dr. Karen. I want to extend a huge thank you for checking out this coaching call segment. To show my appreciation, I wanted to share something with you. If you've ever felt like you aren't earning the respect and income you deserve as an SLP, you're going to want to keep watching. Back in 2014, I went through somewhat of a career crisis. I'd been working in the school systems for about 10 years, and I loved my students and what I was doing, but I was sick of all the red tape that controlled how I served my clients. I felt like I'd hit a wall in my career, and it seemed like I had no way to advance. In my job situation, it was hard to be seen as a true expert or specialist and a leader instead of a jack of all trades. I had tons of ideas about how to improve our field, but they never saw the light of day because I was always too busy with my caseload. I would lie awake at night wondering if there was something more out there that would allow me to create more income and impact. I was lost and I had no one to help me find my way. So over the next few years, I embarked on a journey to find myself as an SLP. And I knew if I was going to be like the leaders of the field, then I was going to have to study what they were doing so I could do the same. So for the next couple years, I did a handful of career experiments to try my hand at a little bit of everything. I did clinical supervision for graduate students and certified practitioners. I did graduate level college teaching. I did speaking engagements. I took on private clients. I even tried some private consulting and coaching for doctoral candidates finishing their dissertations. I started developing, marketing, and delivering online continuing education for SLPs. And I even did school administrative projects and program evaluations for some school districts. And during that time, I got to collaborate with some of the most successful people in the fields of education and healthcare. And throughout that journey, I learned that the most successful, most fulfilled, highest earning SLPs are not afraid to venture off the beaten path of what's expected for an SLP's career. The thing is that they also know how to build their clinical skills so that they can confidently call themselves experts, and they've developed the leadership skills that allow them to position themselves as trusted authorities, both of which set them up to find the best, highly sought after job opportunities and tap into additional sources of income so they can be financially free, which is something you don't hear about a lot in communities for SLPs. And I realized that even though these things were essential to SLPs who want to advance in their careers, no one is really teaching this to SLPs in graduate school. And it's damn near impossible to find SLP-specific professional development that supports these skills, which is why I had to learn to do it, and I had to put it all together myself. But the good thing is, if you want to finally break through that glass ceiling in your career, like I did for mine, so you can earn the respect and income you deserve, you actually don't have to do it alone. That's exactly why I created a program called SLP Learning Academy. SLP Learning Academy is an online coaching program designed to help pediatric SLPs earn more and find more fulfillment in their work. SLP Learning Academy is for you if you're ready to be seen as a leader, a trusted expert, and an authority in the field, learn how to ethically market what you do as an SLP so people feel naturally drawn to working with you, seek out additional income-generating activities so you can be financially free, stop feeling stuck in your career and find that next step that's aligned with your strengths, and feel confident navigating the trickiest clinical cases, workplace conflicts, or logistical challenges you face as an SLP, whatever career path you choose. Through live coaching and a members community, I'll show you how to do things like boost your clinical skills and work through unique and challenging case studies, consult with parents and coworkers to increase carryover, navigate workplace conflicts with ease, master report and goal writing in school, medical, and private practice settings, advocate for your clients and start movements in the field, navigate scheduling logistics, and challenge the status quo surrounding service delivery, examine SLP side hustle options and determine ones that are right for you, market your SLP services and products to add additional income streams, decide how and when it's time to change settings as an SLP, leverage your current skill sets to land leadership positions that involve things like clinical supervision, teaching, and administration, find your identity as an SLP based on your personality so you can create your dream job that's right for you, and decide how and when to start an SLP-related business should that be the path you choose. all of the skills that I wished I would have known to be able to advance my career as an SLP and know all of the options that I had. So here's what you actually get when you join. Each month we do 4 live coaching sessions, and then all those coaching sessions are uploaded to an online members portal so that you can actually log in and watch the replays if you're not able to attend the call live. So that means you can submit your questions in advance and I can answer them even if you're not on the calls. And then we also have a professional learning community, which we host via Facebook so that you can get support from other members of the program and me between those coaching calls. Now, to be honest with you, I do offer one-on-one coaching packages starting at $2,000 for support like this, but I want to make this more attainable for you. That's why you can join for just $39 a month, which will eventually go up, but you'll lock in this rate for life if you join today. And since I know you may have been burned by other programs that didn't deliver, I wanted to remove some of that risk for you, which is why you can cancel at any time. So now you have a choice. You can continue to work through all of this on your own and stay stagnant in your career. Or you can have a place to go for legit answers from a trusted source every week. So you can wake up every Monday excited and finally get back in the driver's seat when it comes to your career, so you can finally earn what you deserve and change thousands of lives in the process. All you need to do is click Enroll Now to become an SLP Learning Academy member today. This is Dr. Karen, and I can't wait to support you.